Hey, how's it going, guys? Back here again with another video. Today I would like to review the Zephyrus G14. Today I'd just like to let you know I'm not going to be going over any kind of Geekbench scores or any kind of megahertz and gigawatts or what have you. This is just an actual consumer reviewing this laptop. Now, I would like to say that I got this laptop from Best Buy for $11.99 on one of their Black Friday sales. I have until January 15th, I believe, to return it. So I got this and the Razer Blade. I will be doing a comparison video of which one I think you should go for. And today, I'll focus primarily on this. If you guys have any questions about either of those laptops or something you'd like me to cover specifically in that video when I make it, please leave a comment down below and I'll make sure I answer it. Now, without further ado, let's dive right in. I have many mixed feelings about this laptop. First, I would like to go over just the overall build quality of it, and this is a very beautiful machine. It is made out of aluminum and some magnesium alloy thingamajigs, and honestly, from a lot of reviews that I've seen that like to review MacBooks or high-end laptops like Razers, I've heard them say that it almost has a plasticky feel, but that is just honestly not something I get when I hold this. This feels very solid to me. It feels like one solid piece of machine, not like a bunch of plastic. It just feels like it was made with quality in mind. Now, before I open it up, I know I did a nice little 360, but I'd like to go over the I/O. Here you have the charging port and HDMI. This is your USB/display port that supports DisplayPort 1.4. This is your microphone audio jack. On this side, we have two USB Type A's and a regular schmegular USB Type C. What I meant to say was this does not support Thunderbolt 3. So that is very important if you have any eGPUs or anything like that that you would like to hook up to this bad boy one day. That is just not an option with this, which is a shame, but the trade-off is you get the AMD CPUs. The AMD Ryzen 4900 series CPU is quite possibly one of, if not the most powerful chips in a laptop right now. It is handicapped by not supporting Thunderbolt accessories. However, it will just absolutely crush anything that you throw at it. I will say though that 9 out of 10 people that get this machine will not get close to the clock speeds that this thing maxes out on. What they will benefit from, however, is the fact that this laptop can get you 9 to 10 hours of battery life if you're doing things like light web browsing or working on an essay or any kind of other light tasks like that. It is important to note that this USB-C port over here supports charging up to 65 watts, and B, if you're not plugged into power, you are just simply not going to get the max power that you would be getting if it were plugged in. The reason for that being is the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 Max-Q will not be able to operate at full power. And if you do use the 2060, your battery life is going to get cut drastically to like 3-ish hours, maybe a little less. So you need to make sure you go into your NVIDIA settings and have a recommended auto select between the integrated graphics from the AMD chip and your 2060. One thing that really took me aback, and I just have not been able to really wrap my mind around, is the awful NVIDIA laptop GPU marketing. What I mean by that is I got the Razer Blade and it has the RTX 2060 in it, And then this bad boy went on sale and I rushed to grab it because of that huge price difference between both of the machines. Now what I did not know at the time, but I figured out once I started playing the two and playing them with the same settings and the same games, is I just was not getting the frame rates that I wanted out of this machine, the frame rates that I was getting out of my Razer Blade. And that's when I noticed or realized and researched that just because it's a 2060 does not mean it's going to be equal to a 2060 in another machine. Now, if you're a laptop nerd, you already know this, but if you're just someone that's looking to purchase one of these on sale for the holidays, it is really important to note that the 2060 Max-Q, as far as modern GPUs go, is honestly second to last. It's just right ahead of the 1660 Ti of a couple of years ago, of the previous generation. The reason for that is the 2060 Max-Q is limited to a 65 watt power consumption, which if you're not a nerd and you're not into all that mumbo jumbo, you wouldn't know that. I will say, if you are going to game using just this machine and this display, you are going to get awesome frame rates. It will play AAA titles at around 40 to 50, like Cyberpunk, for example. And if you do go for the 2060 model, you will get awesome features like RTX, which really won't work too well, but most importantly, DLSS, which games like Cyberpunk absolutely need in order to run properly. Truth be told, if I didn't have the Razer Blade and the G14 at the same time, this is just something that I wouldn't have noticed. This machine can chop through 4K footage like butter. It can play any game I throw at it, but as soon as I try and hook it up to my 1440p monitor, I just do not get the frame rates that I wish I could. And that wouldn't bother me at all if I knew one day I can buy an eGPU enclosure, throw an RTX 3060 in it even, and play 1440p games at like really high refresh rates, because that's a 165 hertz monitor. I am just kind of stuck with this. Your use case scenario may be different. If you have a desktop at home and you want just a little monster of a machine that can outperform really anything in its class, you're going to absolutely love this. The speakers on this thing are absolutely amazing. Everything about it is just really top of its class. Dave 2D, and I'm sorry to spoil this for you if you haven't seen it yet, actually said this is the best laptop that came out in 2020, and really I would have to agree with him. Everything that you get is just so customizable and so top notch. Even the onboard software that you get, Armory Crate, it allows you to fine-tune everything that you would like. It lets you go into the fan speeds, overclock things. You can go into turbo mode to get more out of the GPU and CPU. It really lets you just fiddle around with things the way that you want them to. What is really awesome about this that I love is that this machine comes with a 1 terabyte SSD, and my Razer Blade comes with a 512. So already right out of the gate, this thing is just, it's crushing it in every single aspect, in every way that this machine can come at you. It is, except the 2060 Max-Q. And it's really hard for me to bash that, because this thing is just so small. Now, just for a comparison, if I get my Razer Blade 15 here, which everyone I'm sure has seen in reviews and whatnot for years, this is a very well-known shape and body. If I get that, I put this on top of it, It really is just nuts how much smaller the G14 is. Now, if you are going around to school or taking this out with you at work every day, that is a difference you are going to notice. This little thing can fit absolutely anywhere and you will barely notice it is there. One of the other, I guess, minor hindrances with it, I'm not really too big of an RGB nerd, even though I do have, you know, the razor blade. My Keychron, I really do like, you know, just how nice and plain and simple it is. The backlighting on this keyboard is really just not good at all. It is plain white and it bleeds through the keyboard chassis. It's just easier to see the keys without it enabled. I'm not sure what happened there. That's not really too big of an issue with me, but it may be for some of you, so I thought I'd mention it. But one thing that you cannot ignore, especially in days like these, the fact that this does not come with a webcam. So if you need to do any kind of work on the go that involves you being in a business meeting or something like that, if you're at a coffee shop and you like to speak with your family, you either have to carry a webcam around with you or just use your phone, because this simply cannot do it. And that could be a bonus or a negative depending on your specific use case scenario. If you're into cybersecurity and whatnot, this may be a big win for you. So everyone's different. It's just really up to you at that point. I know that I talked about the keyboard and how the lighting on it is kind of a little wonky, but the key travel and the keyboard itself honestly is one of, if not the best that I've ever felt and typed on in a laptop. So just to give you guys a little taste of what it sounds like and me typing on it, I am going to give you a nice little keyboard test here. So here we go. Okay, as you can see, if that wasn't for you, I'm sorry. I'm just a huge keyboard nerd. I really love it. Which brings me to my next point about the keyboard. I do really like all the function keys you get up here, these special keys, the volume up and down. This key right here, the Asus logo, lets you switch between turbo, performance, silent, and all that jazz. But what I just really don't get is A, the font on the keys, and B, the big thumb, like, bar, just thingamajig here. I didn't get it until I started using it, and I realized that that is for when you're gaming, and it gives you a bigger space to hit with your thumb on the space bar. But man, that looks ugly. I really do like how the razor blade is a nice, perfect grid, but this is just way better as far as the actual typing experience goes. So I would recommend this thing 100%. It crushes every video editing task, every gaming task, everything. The only gripe I have, which is just no blame to this, is the 2060 Max Q. If you're going to be using this as a desktop replacement, it absolutely could do it if you're gaming on like a 1080p monitor. But if you're using 1440p, it can output at decent frame rates, but not compared to like a 15-inch gaming laptop. However, if you're willing to make the trade-off from a 15-inch gaming laptop to something like this, well, you have an absolute winner here. This really is an S-tier machine, and I think if you get this, you will absolutely love it. And if you guys have any questions or comments, anything that I missed or didn't cover that you'd like me to, please go ahead, comment down below. And if you have anything that you would like to just bring up for me to cover in another video, I'd love to chat with you guys. Let's hang down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Later.